देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
I'm out of breath from running. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We're so grateful to have Swaminiji here, all the way from Rishikesh. We're sitting in Bahamas, Chris and I, next to each other. And he said, we should have an end-of-year retreat. Where can we have it? And I said, go side drive. I did not say that. I said, we can ask Swaminiji, but we have a place that we can host. And so, thanks to Swaminiji, we were able to get here today. And we have 8 days where we can just be with Swaminiji, but with ourselves. And so this place, it's not Best Western, it's now the ashram. And so a place where we can be with ourselves, be with the study. And so treat it as such. This is going to be the ashram, this is going to be your home. And so as we would be in an ashram, so we be here. There are many people who have gotten us to where we are today. So Chris Ji has helped a lot. Praveen and Sureka Ji. And then Smita and Kamlesh Kosai, my parents. So we want to thank them for organizing all of this as well. There's more to say about the building and all of that, but we can hold that till later, just when it's us. We don't need to do that now. But basically, we'll have all of our meals in the dining area, all of the classes here, and that's all there is. And you study in your room. The schedule is on page 1, and so you can. Everyone has a booklet. On page 1 of the booklet, there's the schedule. And so we'll have meditation starting at 7:30 here in this room, and then the classes will go as the schedule says. Yoga will also be here in the back of the room. If we can ask everyone to come through the back entrance, and then just Swaminiji will come through this front entrance. Any questions about any logistics? No. So we will have an opportunity to study Danyashtakam with Swaminiji in the morning. In the 11 o'clock slot, I will be teaching Sadhana Panchakam. And then in the evening, class will take Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, Swaminiji. And then Satsang will be with Swaminiji. And so it's a good curriculum. Swaminiji was telling me earlier that the Danyashtakam tells us who is the Jnani. Gives us the qualities of the Jnani. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 tells us how to prepare ourselves to become a jnani. And Sadhana Panchakam prepares us for chapter 3. And so that's the system that Swaminiji created. And so we're very grateful to have her here. Swaminiji, anything else that?
Whatever else you wanted.
I don't think I have really anything else.
Okay. All right.
Om Tat Sat.
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यपरम्परम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskars and a hearty welcome to all. Very happy to see everybody here. And something very special about ending the year on a Vedantic note. There is something nice about that, something right about that. And to this end, we are very thankful to your family, to you, to having hosted this retreat. Not an easy thing to do. Keep track of everybody and all these details have to be taken care of. Many people have helped. And this is something very beautiful. Shivam grew up on Swamiji's lap and so has imbibed a lot. Just by being with the Jnani, we can learn so many things. Not just in a formal teaching situation, that is of course there, but also just by being with a Mahatma, many things can be learned about how they lead their lives and how they live what they teach. In other words, how they walk the talk. This is something very important. And then the Dhanyashtakam, very beautiful text, attributed to who else? Adi Shankara. Attributed to Adi Shankara. This is a very beautiful tradition in our teaching because it underscores that this knowledge cannot have an author, cannot be privatized. I channeled this Upanishad, nobody will say. Even the Guru associated with the Upanishad, the sage or the Guru, just keeps quiet about it. And what to talk of granthas. Granthas means these manuscripts, these various secondary works on Vedanta. The secondary works are a copycat of the Upanishads. They are just carbon copies of the Upanishad in verse or in a language that is easy to understand. It's a language that is easy to understand, that is made very simple so that it gets through the heads of even those who don't have the qualifications to study the Upanishad. That is the beauty of these granthas. The Upanishad is a lady of few words. She'll just say a few things and go away. But it is incumbent on the secondary works to keep the parampara going. Really, that's how it is. And these rishis wrote for two reasons. They wrote works on the Upanishads, secondary works on Vedanta, firstly for their own clarity. And some of the writers will say this, that Atma Shuddhaye, for my own clarity and for my own freedom from my own ragadveshas, I am writing this text, not for enlightening anyone else. And some will say, like the Tattva Bodha, will say what? This is for the benefit of all seekers of freedom. Who are the seekers of freedom? Mumukshus. Mumukshunam hitardhaya tattvabodha abhidhiyate. This tattvabodha is presented for what? The text called tattvabodha is presented for the well-being, the benefit of who? Mumukshus, the seekers of knowledge. And so like this, the sages that wrote it were not ordinary, and then they were either writing to help themselves or they were writing for their own clarity to grow, because it's only through teaching and writing that one's own clarity grows. Because otherwise what happens? Whatever one has studied in the hall remains in the hall. We go out and the knowledge remains in the hall. That we have had the experience of. And so that clarity means there should not be any vagueness, any kind of wrongness about it, or any kind of obfuscated knowledge, eclipsed knowledge, and that should not be there. Doubt should not be there. And so these sages are the ones who have kept the knowledge going. And when the knowledge is kept alive through teaching and writing, then what happens? The parampara is also kept alive. Because somebody is writing, that means what? There is somebody to read it. There is somebody to then teach it. There is somebody to understand it. This is the way the parampara is kept alive. So these are not ordinary beings. The sages who have written Dhanyashtakam, so many things. Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, what else is there? Aparokshanubhuti and Viveka Chudamani, of course. And then what else is there? Vedanta Dindimaha, the drum beat of Vedanta. And so many works are there. All of them have the purpose of, whether they intended that purpose or not, they have helped to continue the Vedanta lineage through various gurus and shishyas who studied and then became gurus. Very, very important for that. And then another thing that is very important is that these sages, these rishis, did not see it important to put their name on the work. They thought it was wrong. Why was it wrong? Because it would be plagiarism. Why? Because I did not invent this knowledge. And in fact, I did not even know this knowledge. Somehow I understood, somehow with the grace of Guru, God, everything, Shastra, then I came to understand. And that understanding is what? That understanding is something I am expressing here. That's all it is. Everything, in Vedanta is been there, done that. Been there, done that. Nothing is new. Absolutely nothing is new. How you gained the knowledge is not new. Why? Because that's exactly how your teacher also gained the knowledge, and then her teacher, and then his teacher, and her teacher, and his teacher, all the way to Sadashiva Samarambha. That is how this was gained. And then there is nothing original about that. There is nothing original about this text, because it is a clone of the Upanishad. It talks about everything that needs to be done pre-Vedanta, what needs to be done. How should our minds be? Where should our hearts be? And what are the things that do not belong in this pursuit? All this is given. And post-Vedanta, how should one be? This is one of the post-Vedanta texts. So, how should one be? How are the people for whom this knowledge has worked? And that is what we want, because if you keep listening and then there's nobody who has gained this knowledge, and there is nobody to tell us how these people are behaving, how are they happy, then the desire to study, which keeps going down after the initial soda bottle enthusiasm. Like you shake a can of Coke and then open it, what will happen? It will just be like a fountain. And after that, what? Flat. Vedanta also same thing happens. And you start telling yourself, I attended this retreat, nothing happened. I attended that retreat, still complaining. I attended the third retreat. And now another year-end retreat. What will happen? Nothing will happen. Because why? Nothing happened before. And so this little thing called hopelessness that likes to creep and crawl in the heart when no one is looking takes over and makes one into, from a jaded, faded jiva to a jaded, faded Vedantin. That is what happens. And so, therefore, of all the works in the tradition, the works that talk about the jnani have a particular relevance in our times, especially if one has been studying Vedanta for a length of time and wondering where this is going. wondering how they are, who are these people who have gained this knowledge. Of course, the Bhagavad Gita makes it a point to talk about these people in every chapter, in almost every chapter. First chapter is a washout because it's just Arjuna's complaints. It's not a samvada, it's a monologue. It's a vada means dialogue, but here it is a monologue. In the second chapter, we have a substantial section towards the end. Arjuna himself asks the qualifications of the person with knowledge. In the third chapter, we hear how the person with knowledge behaves. We will see that here also. In the fourth chapter also is there. Fifth chapter definitely is there. Sixth chapter again, the text makes a distinction between the one who is attempting nididhyasana. We'll see what nididhyasana is. It's a kind of living Vedanta is nididhyasana. And how to do that? We help ourselves through to some words of the Upanishads that whose meaning we know. And then we keep repeating that and seeing the meaning repeatedly. That is what it is. And then, so this way, we have a very rich tradition, an extremely rich tradition of these kinds of works, which tell us what the jnani is like. Because if we don't know what a jnani is like, and we are studying Vedanta without jnani description, that would not be complete. That is not at all complete. So the jnani description is for who? We have to see that first. Is it for the jnani? No. Why? Because if the jnani knows I am jnani, will the jnani need to read the description? No. Then what other choice is there? We have to say it is for the ajnani. The ajnani means the one who does not know V for Vedanta and doesn't care to know either. Why? Because they are still figuring out life. They are still trying to live happily, quote unquote, by making the finite, by trying to make the finite into the infinite. This is what they are trying to do. And then so if you tell the ajnani, this is how the jnani lives, they will say whatever. Whatever. Who cares? How the person of knowledge lives, who cares? This is how I am living now. That's all I want to know. So then who is this description for in the Upanishads, in almost all chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, and in works like this, dedicated to delineating, unfolding how the jnanis are. Who is it for? It's not for the jnani, we have established that. It also is not for the ajnani who is not exposed to Vedanta. Then the question, who is it for? Mumukshu. Mumukshu in English is jnani wannabe. Yes. This is for wannabe jnani.
I will totally concede. So far, there hasn't been a
Ravi?
Yeah.
You want any? You want dosa?
We will mute everybody, okay? Yes, I don't know how to do that. I used to, but anyhow, doesn't matter. I think I got it. Mute all. Fantastic. Okay. So this is for who? The jnani wannabe. The one who knows a little bit and wants to be a jnani will not allow themselves to be a jnani. Why? Because they don't know the value of it, and then they need to see how the jnani is, so that the mumuksha, the desire to be free, that desire is now set on fire. The head is set on fire. The Mundakopanishad says your hair is on fire because you have to do a certain kind of a ritual before studying the Mundakopanishad. First you have to shave the head. And then you say, oh, that's not a big deal. I can shave the head. Over that you have to put some live coals. That's why you have to shave the head. Make room for the live coals. And then you put a very thin container and fill up the container with live coals, and then run around the ashram 3 times, parikrama, or around the guru. If the guru doesn't have an ashram, you circumambulate the guru, little easier because quicker. And then you ask for the knowledge humbly. This is called Shiro Vratam. It's a test of one's commitment and dedication. We have many such tests in the Upanishads, and the Parampara has contributed to these tests also. How? By the individual teachers concocting even more tests. In Kailas Ashram is there in Rishikesh. There used to be a guru. I had met him, contemporary of Pujya Swamiji. His name was Swami Vidyananda. And he would tell in his days what you needed to do in order to be accepted by a teacher. It was not enough to show up for a year-end retreat. You couldn't do that. You had to first say, I want to study with you, and then the exclusive, the retreat club and all the classes, etc. would open up for you after having gone through the tests. What was the test? You just go. Kailas Ashram is there in Rishikesh. The head branch is in Uttarakashi, 7 hours north of Rishikesh. Take some Ganga water. Oh yeah, I can do that. Go to Rameshwaram. Where is Rameshwaram? Southern tip of India. Alright? Where is Uttarakashi? Mid-Himalayas. Okay? From there you go to Rameshwaram and bathe the Shiva Linga there in the temple, and bring some sea water and then bathe the Shiva Linga in the ashram temple. What time is the flight? No flight. No. How do you go? Walking. With your 2 feet. Daunting as it is, then the last part was the best part. Do this 3 times. After that, if you're still interested, come to me. Then I will tell you whatever is there. This very high bar was there as a deterrent. It's very interesting because in every other enterprise, a body of knowledge, whatever, we want followers. Vedanta is the only place where we don't want followers who are not ready. We want people who follow not the teacher, but the teachings. This is what is the difference. So we also want to do that, but there is no pressure to go out and disseminate the knowledge. There is no pressure that there should be mass moksha, MMM, mass moksha movement. We are not interested in that. Because we know whoever will come, will come. And because the teaching is so heavily dependent upon the readiness, when the readiness is there, whether it's in this lifetime or 10 lifetimes from now, one has to deliver themselves into Vedanta. There is no other option. Because all the desires are hiding one desire and one desire alone. Every desire is hiding this one desire, to be free. to be happy, to be acceptable to myself and others. This is what it is hiding. And so, why do I say it's hiding? Because I don't see it. I don't see the desire to be free. I don't see the desire to be happy. I don't see the desire to be whole, limitless. What do I see? Chocolate cake. This is what I want. If I had a better job, I would be happy. If I had a nicer house, I would be happy. If I had a better spouse, I would be happy. Like this, there is a certain kind of a displacement of the desire to be free, which is actually the only desire that is among all the desires uncultivated. So we have the desire for food, uncultivated desire. We have the desire to wear clothes, especially in winter and all. We have the desire to be clothed, to be away from the elements, uncultivated desire. Why? Because we don't have fur. If we had fur, that desire also would not be there. The dog doesn't say, where is my tuxedo, I should get dressed up. It doesn't have that desire. Then we have the desire for food, and we have a desire for shelter. In Hindi, this is called what? Roti, kapda, makan. This is what it is. These are all uncultivated desires. Nobody said, that, I have to just, I have a desire to eat, and I myself made myself have the desire to eat. This nobody says. The desire to eat, uncultivated. Hunger is there, and then the food is also available. In the universe, the food is there. Oshadhibhyaha annam. Plants are there. From the plants, food comes. What about from the animals? No. Plants are the source of the food. Either you can eat the plant, or you can feed the plant to the animal and then eat the animal. But the source of food is what? Plants. So like this, the desire to be free is also uncultivated. If you are in a human being's upadhi, meaning body-mind complex, then the desire to be free is nothing to do with your wanting that consciously. You have not cultivated this desire. Desire for cable TV, yes, cultivated. Desire to go places, cultivated. Desire to look a certain way, have people have a certain impression about me, cultivated. All the other desires belong in the category of cultivated desires. And then, just like the basic desires for food, shelter, clothing, etc., this desire is also a very basic desire. I want to be free. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to be feeling limited. I don't want to be feeling finite. I want to be whole. Or you can say, I want to be happy. I don't want to be complaining anymore. I do not want to have a lack centered on myself. These are all the whole gamut of what we call these desires are moksha. This is what moksha is. So the desire for two things we should know about this moksha. One is that it is not cultivated. I did not want moksha. I did not consciously want moksha. I already am hardwired to desire moksha. I can't help but desire moksha. But since I don't know that this is what I want, whatever I don't know gets morphed into something else. Like even our stock example. What is our stock example? Rope? Snake. Yeah, Vedanta class, we cannot end without having rope snake. In every Vedanta class, the blessed rope snake has to feature. So what causes the snake to emerge out of this rope? Snake, we have to say. What causes this snake? Ignorance of what? Rope. Yeah, ignorance of yourself will not cause snake to appear. Yeah. Ignorance of what? Rope. Rope is the adhisthana. Adhisthana means the locus. The basis for the mistake is the rope. That's why there is aropa. See? Yeah. That's why there is aropa, because the rope is not known. Aropa means projection. That's why there is a projection. So not knowing the rope should not make me feel anxious, should not make me feel afraid. An unknown rope, can it bite? No. Can it slither and walk all over you? No. An unknown rope is lying there. But then there is the fact that it is unknown means that this unknown rope cannot be the cause of fear. A totally unknown rope cannot be the cause of the projection of the snake. Because here, neither the rope is known nor the snake is known. Both are not known. So an unknown rope, on an unknown rope, can I project the snake? No. Can I project the snake on a known rope? No, because I know it as rope. Then where does the snake come? It's very interesting. It comes in a very specific place where I know the rope partially. I know there is something there and it is lying with 3 bends. It's a tribhangi. It's lying with 3 bends. I see that there is something there. And where is the snake? In my own head. How? In the form of this memory. Smriti Rupa Adhyasaha. This mistake is in the form of memory. Another unpleasant encounter with an unpleasant snake, or I thought it to be unpleasant, makes me have that fear which is already there in the head, and the similarity of the rope and the snake, so the snake in my head and the rope on the ground, there is a kind of a similarity because it is partially understood. And I see that it is in the shape of what can look like a snake, and then the projection is there. This projection is what causes sorrow, causes pain, and makes us want to study Vedanta. This is what it is. Makes us want to study Vedanta. And so the end point so this is the first thing we should know about moksha, is that one is hardwired for moksha. The second thing to know about moksha is that one already has moksha. What? Yes? Oh, should I withdraw from the retreat? Not so fast. One has moksha but does not know it, like a person sitting on a treasure chest which belongs to them only, and then sitting on the treasure chest, the person is crying bitterly, I don't have anything, and has a begging bowl in the hand and says, please help me, please help me. I don't have anything, I lack everything. I have not eaten for 3 days. What will you tell the person to do? What should this person do? The one who says, I am a begging person, I am a beggar, yet sitting on what? Treasure chest full of gems and gold and silver and money and whatnot, with the begging bowl in the hand. What do we tell? Do we tell this person, please meditate? Or do some nididhyasana. I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. Dhanyoham, dhanyoham, dhanyoham. Will that work? No. Shall we tell them to do some tapas? Stand on the chest with on one leg and then just do some tapas? What should we tell this person?
Open the chest.
Look at where you are sitting. Open your eyes first, okay? Forget opening the chest. Open the eyes. Look at where you are sitting. You are sitting on top of that which is what you are missing. And this missing, as though not knowing my own nature, brings us to gatherings such as these, where we can understand that the so-called gaining of moksha is just an as-though gain. The third thing about moksha, since I already have it, the gain of moksha, quote unquote, is an as-though gain. It's not a real gain. It's an as-though gain. Why? Because it's already there. And the fourth thing is that this gain has to be accomplished with knowledge. No other way is possible. Upanishad herself will tell us that at the end of one of the Upanishads, there is an exception. Yes, you can gain this knowledge you can gain moksha without Vedanta knowledge. Oh, really? I'd like to do that. I'd like to go that way. Yes. When can this happen? Simple. Yada charmavad akasham veshtaishyanti manavaha tada brahma avijnaya dukkhasyanto bhavishyati. So, yada means when. So the only exception to gaining moksha, my true nature, without recourse to study of Vedanta, without recourse to knowledge, is when manavaha, the human beings, are able to roll up space. Veshtaishyanti akasham. They are able to roll up space and carry it under their arm like a carpet. You know, you're sitting on an asana, you finished your meditation, what do? You take it up, roll it, put it under your arm and then keep it somewhere. So if you are able to roll up space like your yoga mat, then you will be able to cross sorrow without knowing Brahman. Without knowledge of yourself, which is what? Which is Brahman. Without knowing yourself, this is the only exception. What kind of an exception is it?
Impossible.
Exactly. The fact that we are still sitting here and not rushing for that exception shows what? Then this is not a possibility. It means even through this kind of a trolling, the Upanishad tells us that this is not a possibility, don't even go there. You can't wrap up space, and better to gain this knowledge. More about that we'll speak tomorrow, this whole thing. But this is an important thing to begin with, to understand that all the things that we do, actions, are what? Finite. And if the actions are finite, what is also finite are the results of action. How can they produce the infinite? They cannot produce the infinite. Actions finite, results of actions finite. And so, And besides, the infinite, if there is such a thing, is not a product. It cannot be a product. What is it? You. Uncreated you. That is what it is. Uncreated, limitless, whole. Brahman, which is at once Atma. There is no Brahman without being Atma, I, and there is no Atma without being Brahman. So therefore, these secondary works of Vedanta have given us a lot of material. There's a very rich literature, rich body of literature and knowledge, where in a very simple way all of this is beautifully explained, very nicely explained. And so therefore we have to see that there is something here in each of these granthas for us to look into. And of all the granthas that talk about the jnani, the end point of Vedanta, very, very special. Because, like I said, this is just for the person who says, I want to be this. I want to be this dhanya. Dhanya means somebody who is wealthy, somebody who is fortunate, somebody who is blessed, somebody who is very abundant, has a lot of abundance. Comes from the word dhanam only. Dhanam means what?
Wealth.
Show at least one sign of life.
Wealth.
Yeah. Wealth, yes. Dhanam is wealth. Absolutely. Dhanam is wealth, and then dhanya is dhana yogya. So the one who is worthy of this. And here we are not talking of wealth in the form of cattle, and even if we take the ancient examples, cattle, gold, etc. We are not talking of land, cattle, gold. We are not talking of that. We are not talking of real estate. We are not talking of how many companies one owns. We are not talking of bank balance. We are talking of another kind of balance where nothing can shake the person. Nothing that happens in this universe can shake the person's understanding of themselves as whole, free, and limitless, no matter what. And to this end, such works, they help us in our quest. And if we have become jaded by, in the course of one's studies, if somebody has become jaded, it infuses a fresh hope and a fresh enthusiasm, because the characteristics of the jnani, as Adi Shankara himself put it, become what? Become the sadhanas for the rest of the people wanting to be jnanis. So this is the Dhanyashtakam. And Dhanyashtakam, the end point of Vedanta, the vision of no division, is not gained without preparation. In Vedanta, 9/10 is preparation and 1/10 is the knowledge. And this we see in one of the chapters of the Chandogya Upanishad. This boy, whose name is Satyakama, goes to his teacher and asks for this teaching. And the teacher gives some cattle. I think there were about 400 cows. Go take care of them. The student does not protest. In Kali Yuga, the student would have protested. I have come for what? Vedanta. And what are you giving me? Cows to look after. Why should I do this? I want this. When is the next class? No. Here, the student is told, take care of these cows and don't come to me till they become 1,000. When will they become 1,000? Nobody knows. Correct? Some could die, some could be sterile, they don't give birth at all. How, it's like more than double. More than double they have to become. And then only come to me for instruction. So this was the Rameshwaram test, but in a Upanishadic way. And so Satyakama drives the cows to the pasture every day, bathes them, feeds them, afterwards rubs them down and brings them to the stable at night and ties them up and goes to sleep. Forget Vedanta. There is no time for anything except to take these cows, bring them back. Take the cows out, bring them back. At least 1 or 2 you'll have some time, but what to do with 400 of them? Plus there is this pressure. If I want Vedanta, they have to multiply quickly. No use of BGH, bovine growth hormone. No, not allowed. Yeah, these were organic cows, organic. And so the story goes in this Upanishad that in between his journey, he meets 3 different animals. Different animals he meets. A lion with a thorn in its foot that has become a cat and it's meowing in distress. And it says, please take out this thorn. Satyakama says, yeah, right. Because as soon as the thorn is out, what are you going to do? Look for lunch. What is that called, when the room service, because he has delivered himself unto you. Yeah. I will become room service. No, please take out this, please take it out. I'll give you whatever you want. Can you teach me about Brahman? Sure, the lion says. The lion teaches him something. This was the days when they could understand one another, human and non-human. There was not such a big barricade as it is now. Like this, then the heron also teaches something. The heron is standing there and ready to choke. And he says, quick, I have not much time left. Take out the fish in the throat. And then he says, what if you then bite me with your terrible huge beak? What if you scratch me? What if you do something? No, I'll give you whatever you want. Can you teach me about Brahman? Yes, I'll teach you. And that's how the Heimlich maneuver, wrongly named after this doctor, was first discovered. Made it spit out the bone of the fish that was stuck in the throat. And then after that, what happened? He also taught something about Brahman. Like this, the story is there. Then he meets the teacher. Miraculously, the cows also become 1,000. And he meets the teacher, and the teacher says, there is a luster. You have what is called Brahma Varchas. The luster of Brahman is on your face, but you tell me, what do you know? Whatever you know, you please tell me. And Satyakama says, no, I have come to you for the knowledge, you please tell me. So like this, the Upanishads also talk about how this knowledge is very, very natural. And in helping the lion, in helping the heron, in helping the cows multiply, what one was gathering was the ability to sit and study. And that is a very important ability. And the Dhanyashtakam also talks about it, but then we will see that in detail in the Bhagavad Gita. And to study the Bhagavad Gita, some more preparation is needed. And 40 qualifications in 5 verses are talked about in the Sadhana Panchakam. It may be why is it called Panchakam? Because it packs a punch. Okay, yes. It may look to be very small. It may look to be not much. Because it says somewhere, which verse does it say? You please leave home. Why are you still at home? Yeah. Nijagrihat Purnam Vinirgamyata. Leave home. Why are you still sitting at home? Home means comforts. Home is upalakshana. An example for various comforts, and the comforts are, give you a sinking feeling. Why? Because comforts, nothing wrong with comforts, but the comforts foster dependency. And that dependency has to be avoided. This is the whole thing. So in the coming days, we will be studying these texts. And then in the evening, we will have question and answers. And then what else? The Kamlesh Bhai and Smita Bhen have invited all of us to their house on Christmas Day. We will be going there, and then we will go in the evening. After the afternoon class, we will go there, and then so we will be with them. And then one more special thing is happening. When is that?
30th.
On the 30th. On the 30th, we will do Mula Mantra Japa, we will do, and then we will do Abhisheka. This will happen after the morning class. We will let you know the schedules. It is so kind of them to plan all this for us, and we are deeply thankful, because they were saying, where else is there to go, winter time, and people may just get bored, so let's have this, some other things, which makes the retreat much richer, because this is more of an informal time to get to know one another. And this is how it will be. Any questions? Okay. We will stop here and meet tomorrow dark and early. What time?
7:30.
7:30. Yes. Yeah, please attend all the classes to get the maximum benefit of the retreat, because it's a kind of a package deal. Yes. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I don't think I know how to turn it off. I'll turn it off.
Can I make some more announcements?
Yeah, please. Make whatever you need to do.
So just a